Hello everybody, welcome back to Sprueverse, my scale model universe, people of Earth. Welcome to part 11, can you believe this? Part 11 of Build the Helios 1650 Enterprise D. And in front of me on the bench is the belly of the star drive, the neck assembly and the nacelles all permanently installed. And I just wanted to show you quickly this photo of what it looked like with everything together. Very, very happy with this. So that's the final attempted look that we're going for. Obviously, this is minus the accent masking for the Aztecs, and it's minus decals. But this was, I wanted to do a final assembly check just to make sure that it all went together. And of course it does, but there's a couple of issues that I discussed with Lou that I need to pay attention to. One is once I get the top of the star drive neck assembly onto this, and it will slide on and then it has to come on an angle. We'll do all of that on camera, so you know, you'll see me doing it. But anyway, it slides on at an angle, and that allows me to do the final hookups for the actual neck. And then these wires here that you see are the umbilical that will go up to the saucer for the top, for connecting the top of the saucer. So the idea is that the star drive neck goes on, is permanently installed, as is the bottom portion of the saucer. That gets connected, and then when that's all dry, I then connect my umbilical for the top of the saucer and permanently drop that on. But I'm not going to do that until all of the accent masks are down and on, and all my decals are done. So it seems like an awful lot to do, but I do see light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, so what has arrived from the studios of the Aztek dummy himself are my accent color masks for nacelles and star drive. Here they are. And of course, he kindly, if you tuned into my last update, will know that I had to call and find out where the instructions were for half of the masking set. And of course, they were on the back of a two-sided printed map for me, but I failed to turn the piece of paper people over. Hey, you know, we're not mixing rocket fuel in our tubs over here, folks. We're just not. So anyway, he was kind enough to this time write a little note to me at the bottom that says, turn page over for more fun. So in other words, you know, what he's doing is he's rubbing my nose in the fact that I did not flip this over to look for the instructions on the back. But that's okay, you know, all's fair in love and war, and I deserved it. And so here we are. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up for the accent color masks. Now, I've got some very specific instructions here, and I do want to line these up. So I'm going to pull everything out, have a look at it, and we'll start to lay these down. And remember, this is the third blue that you add to this, right? So it's one part light blue, which is your XF23, and it's 2 parts of the flat white, the XF2. So it's a 2-to-1 ratio, and you get this lovely accent color. That is what I have mixed up here. Hopefully I have enough to do everything. Don't think I do, but we'll be able to mix a lot more. Okay, so let me get set up here, and then we'll come back and we will have a look at essentially, I'll get this into camera better once I get a mask on, and we'll have a look at how that lines up. Get those painted, and then we'll do the reveal on camera, and that will take care of the nacelles. And then we'll also do the same for the star drive. And I think that will be this update because I won't be able to do anything else. We will look at, I have, by the way, tested everything is working perfectly. And I've done a couple of videos, well, not videos. I've done a TikTok and I've done some Instagram in the weeds of those. I'm not going to do another lighting demonstration because it's just it's a lot of work. But trust me. Trust me when I tell you, as of this recording, everything is working. But if you know me and my electronics, things could go a little cuckoo. Although I have to say, one big shout out to Helios for their board. It's pretty sturdy board. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward, sturdy board. There are a couple of things that I think we're both disappointed. Lou and I are both disappointed about, and that's the brightness of the warp drive effect, the blue chiller effect. It's not punchy blue. It's a very muted blue, and then it comes up for warp drive. I think there is an argument to be made that perhaps we should have been allowed to get that a little punchier. But hey ho, that's what we got, so that's what we're working with. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this set up, and we'll take a look at the masks on before I commit to painting them, just to memorialize it. That's what we're doing for this stage. But I've got my masks. I'm very excited. So here we go. Okay, I've started to organize my wiring for everything that is already permanently installed. There's no reason not to. So what I've done is I've taken all of the positive leads from the pylons, the rear navs, and I have connected all of that to the various different positives and negatives. So all the positive leads, they just go to a positive wire, and that's all connected here, and everything's been tested and it's working. All the negative leads are obviously my effects, and they've got to be wired to individual effects coming out of the main control board. So that's all been isolated. And now what I've done essentially is given myself a very clean path here. I've laid down the top of the star drive, and it's now sitting very flush. So that is a result. I've got a little bit of putty I'm going to get in here to try and sort of get this all tidied up. So basically what that means is that I'm going to have to just get some epoxy putty or some JB Weld the steel, and I'm going to push that in here, and that'll take care of this gap, and then everything else underneath, well, that'll just get blended together, and we should be good to go. Okay, so that is a really huge step forward. The next thing that has to happen, of course, is I have to get all of the accents done on everything, including the saucer. So I'm waiting for those. Lou thinks they'll be here tomorrow, which is Monday. Monday here being the 28th of November. And I'm going to be gone from the 29th to the 3rd. So I'm going to try and, between tomorrow, get a little bit of work done, or try to get as much work done as I can. And then when I come back on the 3rd, I've got 4th and 5th to try and get all those accents done and clean this up and see how much progression I make. So, but I do feel that this was a huge step forward, and it does make a difference to get this permanently installed on the stand. Okay, want to show you the process of having to do the underneath of my nacelles, because everything is permanently attached now. And because I'm only now getting these accent masks, this is the way I have to do it. But Lou has kindly made them one complete thing now. In other words, they're not just pieces that you have to lay down. It's one complete thing. So all I really have to do is line it up with the color that I want to I want to connect with, and then off you go. So I carefully peel this back. It's one piece, but I wanted to show you on camera how awkward this is. So anyway, let me just drop that so I don't. So I line this up. This is the way I'm lining this up. Now, you do have to be very careful here, but this this pedestal is rock solid. It's all I'm really concerned about here is just getting a line that I can live with, and then once I get a line I can live with, then everything else should line up to that. Okay, so I'm just looking to see where that sits here. Let's see here. Okay, I just need to line that up like this, and everything else should line up with it. Just the idea is that you're complementing the other color. You're not trying to fill it in. You're trying to sort of parallel it so it has a complementary side to it, and it works quite well. It's very clever. It's a very clever system, this masking system. So it's just getting it just right here. There we go. And then it's just a function of lining all of these up like that, and it all sits down, and it does it. It actually sits in these windows. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of these, and then I'm going to hit it with a coat of my third blue, and then we'll take a look at that. Okay, so we're going to concentrate now on the tops of the nacelles. I mean, this is the beauty shot, so it's got to look good, just as the saucer has to look good. I've done all of the accent colors for the top of the pylons here. So now we're just going to concentrate on this side. I have the mask here in front of me, and I see the H, so I'm going to line up the H with the H here, because obviously that's what we're doing. We're coloring this in, and we're changing its color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see whether or not this will actually slide off of here. Sometimes you get lucky, and you can weed it in one fell swoop here. And so that's what I want to do. I want to try and weed this in one fell swoop. It's just a lot easier to manage if I can do that. And then what I'll do is I will just essentially line it up, try to get it straight, and we will go from there. Yeah, you can see here as I'm peeling this back that I'm leaving the pieces perfectly. So it's taking everything. Now you do have to be careful. You don't want to just yank on this and tear your vinyl. You do have to be gentle with it, as firm as, you know, as well. This vinyl is really forgiving, but at the end of the day, you have to be equally as careful so that you don't ruin it. Okay. So here we go. Let me let me just stand up. Try to be conscious of the fact that I have to keep my fat head out of here. Now I've got this as a reference, and I have to make sure that my orientation is correct. So now I have my orientation correct. What I want to do is I'm going to line this up. I'm going to line this up like this. Now, in order for me to do it, I have to get into the shot, which is going to block you. So I'm going to go here for just until I get this lined up, and then we'll change angles. Now I am off just slightly, but my H is my guide. Let me just, I noticed here I've got one stray piece that didn't come off when it was supposed to. Alright, there we go. And just make sure I'm lined up nicely. Well, there's another stray. There we go. Make sure I'm lined up nicely. And I am. There we go. Now, you know, it's not going to be perfect. There are going to be some pieces that are slightly off, and it's not the end of the world, but, you know, it's just trying to get it as you know, as perfect as you can get it. Why not, right? So what I've noticed here is the back of this is, you know, it's a little more far forward than perhaps it should have been. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this so that I can slide this down just a skosh. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do that off. I'm going to do that off camera, just because it's a lot easier. And then we'll come back in just a second, and we'll get a coat of paint on this, and this will look really classy, really nifty, and really. It's always fun to see it go down. So just get it basically, you know, it's pretty good, pretty square, very nice. Okay, so it's just this piece here. Well, maybe I can do this on camera. It's just I can't get too up close with it because, unfortunately, I'm just my head would be in the way, but that works. Now you can see that this is always going to be a situation, you know, where you're going to have to make some slight adjustments, and that's fine. That's what it's all about. Making the adjustments are what it is all about. So I can see here that I just need to be a little more forward, and it's going to create a really nice sort of patternization here. Let's see here. There we go. That's better. And we'll just gently tack this down. And then where you've got, if you've got something like this where it's going to, you know, go around a compound curve, you're going to have to clean it up a little bit. That's always expected, and that's okay. You just keep cutting basically until it behaves, and you'll get it to behave. It's not always going to be perfect. But you can see what I do is I just cut into the vinyl, and then I just make the marriage. And then here, where I've got just a little bit of a squaring up issue, I just, with a very sharp X-Acto, I just clean that up. And voila, we are ready to go. Let me give myself another angle here. Do that again. So I've got something to cut to. Do that. Just a little dart. You just make a little dart in it, just to make sure it sits nicely. Now when that's down, as it is, all I need to do now is just get myself some masking tape. I've got some delicate here, and just to sort of extend this here. I mean, I'm not going to be going crazy, but I just wanted to extend it. Okay, so now I can hit this with some paint. Let me just make sure this is not clogged. Oh, we're good. Okay. So I'm going to start at the back here. I'm quite high at the back here. Just to make sure I get my lines. And then I can come around here. Let's see here. Yeah. And come around here. It doesn't take much. The H is the most impressive piece, so we'll make sure that gets in nicely. I do appreciate the fact that we don't have to tape in between these. That was hard work, and he's made it really easy for us now. It's a nice light coat, but it's a really nice contrasting color. Come on the other side. Plenty of work surface, so there's no issue there. And voila, we are good to go. And again, because this is a lacquer, it dried, you know, it dries very quickly. So what I can do is I can just gently remove this immediately. I don't have to really wait. So that you can instantly see the fruits of my labor. And there they are. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And that's a really, really nice, it's really nice. Now, I've got one small issue here. One small issue where this sort of it's a little further over than I'd like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just paint this out, and I have another one, and I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to lay it down again because we can do that, and we can get that one a little more lined up. That's a goof, but that's okay. It's a good goof. It's a good goof, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. You wouldn't really see it, but I see it, and I want it to be right. So that's what we'll do now. I'll just clean that up. I'm going to go ahead and line up the other one, and that will take care of the nacelles on top. I've just got a little piece I've got to deal with just underneath on the rear of the pylons, but it requires me to put the stand on my lap, tip it up, and just do it that way. So I will be doing that off camera. But again, this is about memorializing what I'm doing rather than for technique. But if you have any questions about how masks go on or my approach to these things, you know, always reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any of your questions, and I always let you know at the close how you can get a hold of me. Okay, let's plow on. And here is a finished look at the accent masks completed for the top of the nacelles. So that's good. I've got a little bit to do underneath, and then we'll dive into the star drive. Okay, we're on the star drive, and I am on the starboard side here, and I'm just laying in just laying in the template. It's one solid piece, so all I have to do really at this point is just make sure that I don't get any overspray. So I'm very carefully sort of just doing that now so that I can hit this in one giant foul swoop. And this should go together quite nicely. One of the things that is inevitable is when you just place something with your eye and you don't line it up correctly, you may be slightly off, because I know Lou is super accurate and my eye isn't as good as his eye. And so he is a professional graphic artist by trade, he was. So he's got this down pat. I don't. So you do have to take a little bit of extra time, but we're in good shape here. And this will go down. Should go down quite nicely. Well, let me hit this again. Fortunately, it's not a super hot day today, so I'm not getting that skinning that you usually get with my brush. But and again, you know, because these are lacquers, they're going to go down quite nicely and quite fast and dry quite quickly, which allows me to take care of this quite quickly. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, because this is the underneath of the ship, I am making sure that I'm getting quite a heavy coat on here because of the shadows. You know, now obviously it's going to get its gloss coat and it'll be in pitch black when you want to show off the lights. Classic. So this is the only time you can really sort of appreciate this and enjoy it is in daylight when you can actually see it, unless you put some uplight into it. But hey, we'll know it's there. But it's really nice to get a very nice sort of crisp finish to this, which I have done. And carefully now, I can just peel that up, and voila. Beautiful. Really nice. Not perfect, but you know, it will work. It will work, and it's a third color, and that's the most important thing. I've got some not windows, but some boxes I have to put around the top of this, which I'll do now. And he has very kindly prepared these very detailed little grates that are going to go on here. We'll get those down, and we'll take a look at those, because that is going to really make this thing pop. I couldn't be happier with the fact that he has done that. That was super thoughtful. So thank you, Lou. Okay, I'm going to keep on going here, and then what we'll do is we'll sort of start laying down laying them down on the belly here. Now I've got a couple of, I've just noticed I've got a couple of windows that have popped, so I've got to quickly make sure I go in and get those covered, just in case I'm gonna hit one of them. So just want to be careful there, that I don't make a fool of myself and cover those up. Okay, so the next thing we've got to do is just carry on with the top of this, and of course the back side of it, or the back side of the neck. So anyway, I will show you the finished result. I'm gonna keep going with these masks. They all go down the same. It is all the third accent color, and I'm really happy with the result. Okay, tempting fate here. I'm going to do a little bit of delicate surgery here, but I think it's worth you taking a look because it's a lot of fun. So what I've done is I've put down these masks for the underneath of the star drive, and Lou created these incredibly delicate grill pieces here, which are just extraordinary. I know I've lifted one, and I'm lifting this one right here on camera, just very delicately. And you can see that it's coming out beautifully. So I'm going to continue to remove that grill, and that will complete the belly of the star drive. And then I can go on to the front of the star drive, which also includes the warp, the neck, which has the impulse engine in it, and of course it has 2 shuttle bays. So we've got a little bit of work to do there, and I've got a little bit more work to do underneath the belly, but I'll do that off camera because it's drying and I forgot that I had a little bit underneath. It's no big deal. Very easy to do. Very easy to do. But I was very grateful to Lou for actually prepping this for me, because I think he realized that, you know, my skill level isn't his skill level, and this grate is incredibly delicate. But wow, I really love the result here. Now, you know, it's tricky, but you know, I got a little bit of lift there, but that's okay. Nothing I can't fix. But I want to show you this result regardless, because I think it's fun. Look at this. Isn't that incredible? It's a lovely detail to have, and I couldn't be happier with that. Okay, I'm going to continue. If I don't drop it on the floor and ruin the whole thing. I'm going to continue. So that is the underneath completed and looking really snappy. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the top of the star drives now. Oh, I've got one more piece I have to put in. I just realized it. One more piece, one more stripe, but you don't need to see me do that. Okay, so following the pattern that was given to me with the photographs from Lou, I've laid down one side of the this is the starboard side of the top of the star drive here, and everything is on. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to give this a quick taping up so that I don't get any bleed, and then we're going to or overspray, I should say. I'll make sure everything is nice and sealed, and then we'll hit this, and then we can move on to the other side. Or conversely, I can just go ahead and tape up the other side, which is probably not a terrible idea, actually. Come to think of it, and just get it all sprayed at once. Why not? So all I have to do is just sort of, I like to declutter my masking by just removing everything that I know I'm not going to use, and it just that also helps me to sort of understand my geometry and where I need to be, so I can line everything up. And so this actually is going to sit like this. And the nice thing is if you're careful and you sort of pull back slowly, you'll actually be able to literally just remove it. It'll sort of pre-weed itself. And then what I need to do is I'm trying to at least line this up so I get some relative symmetry here. This is really sort of important. So, and it also starts to sort of lay down on some of the existing panels, which is exactly what you want. You want to try and get panels within panels. When you can get panels within panels, you get a really nice look. So that's another thing I'm trying to sort of pay attention to is even though these pies go at a certain way, I also want to be careful that I don't get this bleed over the spine, because I don't want it on the spine. I want it elsewhere. And so for me, mine are running a little long, but that's perfectly fine. They can bleed off the edge. That won't matter because it's going to die into the rest of it. I just have to make sure here, like when I get something like this, of course I've got so much clutter on my desk. I'll use this one, that I just pull off some tape here and just make sure that this seam can't get any, otherwise I would create a panel line. And while it would be nice to have some panel lines, they don't belong here. So we'll just go ahead and make sure that that can't leak over there like that. Let us continue here. Get these off. Once in a while, you'll get a stray piece of vinyl that refuses to come off, where these are very precisely cut, and so sometimes you don't get a perfect slice, and that's perfectly fine. It's easy to go ahead and just line these up. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm hitting the top here. Just a little bit of overflow there. Just let that sit down and push it down. That is beautiful. Perfect. That's perfect. And we'll do this one. See if I can't get this one to come off. It's a lot faster to do it this way than it is to sort of self-weed, but when you have to, you have to, and it's okay. It just means that you got, but I'm grateful that we don't have to sort of tape in between everything. Now this one's a little wackadoodle here, so what I'm going to do is just make sure that I follow the correct contour here, and not get myself into trouble, because some of these are just require a little bit of thought. That's all. There we go. That is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Yeah, this was a better way to go, because I know Lou, if he's watching the video, he'll go, yeah, I don't know why you're doing that. Why don't you just put them both on and spray them all at once? It's so much easier. And I go, well, that's because, you're not dealing with rocket scientists here, unfortunately. But this is a better way to go. And of course, there's the tape that I was looking for. Okay, so let me continue here. I'm gonna just... The reason why I like these masks is they've got a firmness to them. The vinyl has a firmness and a tack to it that makes them easier to control. There are other mask substitutes on the market, but I'm sorry, but I'm a devotee to these. And that's not just because Lou is a friend. It's because the product is good. And I have tried other masks, and with their rub-on thing, and now Lou will do that for you when you have something that is quite delicate, like we did on the undercarriage here, where we needed to create that grill, and that's just something you're not gonna, you really are not going to. You're going to have well, I say you would have a difficult time with it. I don't know why I can't speak today, but you would have a difficult time with that. Not impossible, but you would have a difficult time with it. This is a much better process. It takes a little longer sometimes to hand apply these, but then you have so much more control over small areas than you do large areas, although getting these all on at once is just it's a lot more it's a lot less work. Okay, so that's good, and I've got one more here, and that completes this bottom piece, and that just slides here. It goes, let's see here, put this over here like that. Okay, so they're on, and they're quite symmetrical. So what I should do now is, because I know I have a piece that he has cut in the form of a triangle, which allows me to sort of figure this out, and I can actually see where these need to go. This piece needs to lay down, so this is quite helpful. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this one on. Now this might not be perfect, but it's going to be close. It is going to be close. And you can see that, you know, where this basically needs to go. So, and it is one giant piece, so I can put this on as one giant piece like this. And you know, I've got, this is not going to be perfect, but it's going to be close. And I can see this spine here. So this is my sort of center point, and I see these two here, and I see this blue piece here. So I basically know where I need to go. It's actually very helpful the way he's done this. Okay, you can see where it's trying to line up. I just need to be really careful here and try to get my center line. There. I'm going to use that as my pretty good. I think that's pretty good. I might be off by a bit here, I think. And I do want to be careful. I can actually see where I'm off, so this needs to come off, because you don't want that spine line to not be in the center of that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to help myself here. I'm gonna get a pencil mark here and a ruler, and I'm going to actually give myself some locator marks there. That's going to be a lot better. There we go. So much better. Okay, now, okay, that might need to come up just a hair. Okay, that's better. There we go. Okay, now we're in business. That's where that goes. Okay, so there you go. That is on. And then I've got a few little things I can do here if I want to, which I will. I'll pull these windows and I'll get this masked off as well. Just some little details here, just to add a little bit of it to here, and then I think we should be good to go. Okay, more than enough masking here, story. But I think it's important to memorialize this and to show all of the work that's required to get this done. You would think that laying down those decals would be so much better and, oh, we could just do decals. But no, believe me, this is the way to go, and I'm thrilled we're doing it. Okay, time for the big reveal. It's always such a pleasure to be able to unmask everything and take a look at everything, because I get so much joy out of knowing that, you know, you've completed a really huge part of this build, which is the sort of the unmasking of the Azteking process. And obviously everything's going to have to get a coat of clear, just to sort of, and that will definitely bring it down a little bit, change some of the dynamics of it a little bit. But the net result is that this is the sort of the bit that allows you to carry on, as it were. So there we go. Very nice. Very nice. Beautiful. What a difference. I mean, the third accent color really makes this, I think, makes this come alive. It really does. Really does come alive. And of course, you know, a big part of that sort of reveal is the symmetry too, which is really important to the whole kind of thing. Getting that symmetry, that's lovely. And of course, decals are going to help tremendously. So glad I was able to line that up. And of course, down here, just in the, where I've got this little light, that's all nice and clean. And so now what you can do is we can get all of these, the next thing to do is to get, I'm going to get a brand new, let me get a brand new blade, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get all these windows, all these window masks off, because there's no need to have these on anymore. How exciting is that? Just to sort of start to reveal all these windows. And then that will allow us to do one last lighting test of all of this. Now what you can do too is with a little, just a little bit of, just a little dab, not too much, just a little dab of alcohol if you need to, but there's no need to, you know. And in fact, if I take a, I can do it here. If I take a, you can see my windows popping through beautifully. Really nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get all these windows masks off. And then the final thing to do is just test the lighting here and just make triple sure that, you know, everything is as it should be. You know, do we need to black anything out or anything like that? So I'm going to go ahead and get all these window masks off. then we'll do a quick lighting test and see what we've got. Okay, so I have hooked up the Star Drive window setup just to take a quick look, and I've got plenty of light. My windows look really, really nice. There are a lot of windows that are getting lit, but there's windows that aren't getting lit, and that's a good thing. So it's nice and random. It feels random, so I'm very happy with that. So ultimately, that takes care of the Star Drive in terms of the 3 colors we're using. The window masks have been removed. The lighting test has been completed. That will conclude this update. What I'm going to do now is give everything a coat of the satin varnish, getting ready for decals. And that will be that. So in the next update, we're going to be working on the saucer. I won't be doing that until I get back from Telford. So this is November 5th today. It's a Tuesday. I'm leaving on the 6th, which is a Wednesday, and I'm heading to North Carolina to pick up Lou, and then we're heading to Telford. Hey, if you're going to be in Telford, we're going to be there all weekend. Myself, Lou, and Wayne are going to be hanging out with a whole bunch of guys. So we're going to probably make Cosmic Scale Models booth. Keith over there, Tomlinson, always is kind enough to let us drop off our coats and hang. So that's where we're going to be. And at night, we're going to be all hanging out at some bar or whatever, some pub. I have no idea. But we're going to have an absolute blast. So please, if you're going to be in Telford, make sure to say hello. It'd be awesome to see all of you. So there you go. We are getting dangerously close. I will be. I won't say I'm going to be disappointed when this is over with, but I'm thrilled I was able to conquer this. But hey, if you want to get a hold of me, I'm spruverse@gmail.com. I post most days on my Instagram account. That's at Spruverse. You can buy me a cup of coffee. That link is on my channel page. But as always, hey, I wish all of you, please be safe, be well, build something. Come on, let's build something. And I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Be well.